tell people the key to good health for your child is to refrain from going to the pediatrician. And people look at me like I'm crazy and anti-science, but it is true. Like pediatricians, they live off the vaccine enterprise. The only purpose of a well child visit is for them to jab your child. It is a criminal enterprise. So when you talked about the hepatitis B vaccine, every time I hear that, I have just this enormous, you know, anger inside of me, because that one vaccine just exemplifies how evil the vaccine enterprise really is. They tell you, yeah, your child might encounter needles, unprotected sex, and you think, like, when I was having my children in the hospital, I just assumed that's a lifelong protection. When they grow up, when they're 30, maybe they'll have some encounters, and then this will protect them. But later I found out it's like 4 years of protection, and like you expect this little baby to have unprotected sex and drug abuse before they turn 4. That's just ludicrous.
And Scarlett, to piggyback off of what you're saying, the hepatitis B vaccine was, when they observed it in the studies with newborns, they only observed the newborns for 3 to 5 weeks. And I can't fathom that. They didn't use a saline as a placebo. It's just criminal what they're doing.
They never use it. I think there's probably 1 or 2 vaccines that where they used placebo for safety testing. They never used any placebo testing for most of the vaccines. The whole story about the hepatitis B is that they developed it for prostitutes and gay men and drug abusers, but they were failing in marketing it to that population. So instead, they targeted little newborn babies. I wish I knew this before I had children, because all of my 3 children got vaccinated the day they were born, and then I wasn't aware back then what happened to them, because all of them were just so inconsolable in the hospital. And I remember vividly, my first child was able to nurse right after he came out of me, and he nursed for over an hour. But all of a sudden, after the injections, I did not make the association at that time. But now I know it was after the injections that, the vitamin K shot and the HepB. He just became so fuzzy and inconsolable, and he was not able to nurse for like weeks. He would just tear out my nipples, and still not able to nurse. And it's the same thing happened to my daughter as well. But the hospital, the nurses and doctors all tell you it's normal. Newborns are supposed to be like that.